Hello everybody, welcome to the stream. We are here today in Les Saints in Guadeloupe. We are going to continue our tour the of the Antilles. Gonna head down today. We're at Les Saints where we stopped yesterday. We're gonna head down, look at Dominica. We're gonna look at Martinique, St. Lucia, and probably wind up stopping in St. Vincent just with time constraints. So we shall see, but let's get started. And I'll get started by telling you one of the things that I mentioned to the Microsoft Flight Simulator team before they threw me out of their forum was to turn the airplanes around. In other words, nobody parks their airplanes nose in because you can't get them out. You have to push the airplane to turn it around. So in real life, this airplane would be either pointing this direction, that direction, or that direction. Nobody parks an airplane nose in. It just doesn't make any sense. So let's get inside the cockpit today. We are back in the Britten-Norman Islander. Get all my everything set up here with my throttles and all such business. Turn all this stuff off. So we've got some points of interest again today to check out, which is going to be a lot of fun. Hey, Fancy Pilot, how you doing? I can probably help you, but I don't know if I can do it here just because it's difficult doing two things at the same time. The first thing I would tell you is just limit your frame rates in the NVIDIA control panel to whatever your monitor refresh rate is. That's the first thing I would tell you. But external power supply on. Let's go toe brakes on. Let's go rotating beacon on. Mixtures and props full forward. Go master and battery switches on. We'll go fuel pumps on. We will open the fuel valves. Open the starter hood cover. Magnetos on left. We'll take a look outside, see if there's anybody out there to kill or maim. And there is not. So we will get started with the right engine first. Good start. Oil pressure is good. That's the only thing you care about when you start the engine, is make sure the oil pressure is good. Because if there's no oil pressure, that means you're running an engine with no oil, which is bad. Good start. Manifold pressure is good. Oil pressure is good. Alright, so mags to both. Close the starter hood cover. Fuel pumps off. Check the fuel pressure. Fuel pressures both look good. We will now lean mixtures for taxi. Avionics master coming on. Nav and strobe lights coming on. And let's release the parking brake. Turn off the external power supply. And we're ready to go. I am not on Vatsim today, which is, hey, Fancy Pilot, no problem, man. Greek Dude, thanks so much. And Keanu, how you doing, man? It's good to see you guys here today. Thanks so much for joining. We're back in Les Saints. We're going to head down to... We've got a couple points of interest on Dominica to check out, on Martinique, on St. Lucia, and then probably end the flight in St. Vincent. I was thinking about going down to Grenada, but I think that might be a stretch too far. Transponder squawk altitude. Plus, what we can do is then we'll do our next stream from St. Vincent down to Tobago, so we can see that new airport down there. Alright, parking brakes released. I'm going to go this way because it's downhill. It's going to be a little easier. One of the cool things about this plane is it can turn around in its own wingspan. It's really pretty amazing. Hey Heiko, how you doing? Good to have you aboard, sir. Where are you, Heiko, that it's 7 a.m. local time? Or you have to be up at 7 a.m. local time. I gotcha. So, let's see if we can get the airplane moving here. Alright, let's take a look out, make sure there's no traffic on the runway. Of course, we are not on Vatsim. I usually always fly on Vatsim, but I'm not flying on Vatsim today just because that would make it easier. Oh, Heiko's in Thailand. I actually have a colleague who's in Thailand right now. That's one of those places that I've always, the thing is, there's so many places in the world to see, and I would like to see Thailand, but it's probably just not going to be. Who knows? But it's probably not going to be something I see in this lifetime. There's a bunch of places I do want to see. But one of the problems is once you start going to the Caribbean, like once you find a place that you really love, like it's hard not to just keep going back, And I'd love to see Japan. I would love to see some things in Europe I'd like to see. But there's nothing I'd really like to see more than the Caribbean. So we'll get, I should have turned my landing lights on, by the way. Always turn your landing lights on when you're on a runway. Because you want to be visible. And we'll get ourselves lined up. Heading indicator checks with the runway number. I did not set my altimeter. I should definitely do that. Mixtures and props full forward. We'll set the flaps for takeoff. Fuel pumps are on. And this is such a cool view. Look at this. It's such a neat little strip, Alright. So, we are good to go. So, takeoff power is coming in. We're going to do a short field takeoff technique, which is you hold your brakes, set your takeoff power, engine instruments are all in the green, and then you release your brakes. Gives you a little bit more energy, a little bit more oomph. Airspeed's alive. 65, and let's go flying. Alright. What a beautiful view. What a beautiful view. Alright, we can bring the flaps up. Bring the props back. Bring the manifold pressure back. 25. And we need to, there's Dominica right there. There's Guadeloupe to our north. And we'll start turning out here. Flaps are up. And trim for about 100. Want to have kind of enough speed to keep the engines cool, but that is what you call cruise climb. Enough speed to keep the engines cool, but not so much that you're not climbing. So 1,000 feet AGL. Let's turn our fuel pumps off. Check our fuel pressure. Fuel pressure is looking good. Airplane is well trimmed, which is nice. And yeah, there's always something about home, Michael. No matter where you go that you love, there's always something about home. Whether it's just that familiarity or whatever it happens to be, there's always something about home. So the first thing we're looking for, I'm going to level off at 2,000 feet. Simply because our first point of interest is coming up here relatively soon. I was pretty happy yesterday we managed to see all of the points of interest that we were looking for. So 50 feet below your cruise altitude. Bring the props back, bring the manifold pressure back, nose it over. Hey Greek dude, that's an excellent idea. I've flown the 737 in Microsoft into a couple of the Greek airports, a couple of the Greek island airports, and my brother-in-law is married to a Greek family, which you'll know what that means. You don't marry one person, you marry them all. And awesome family of the grandparents are originally from Greece, but the kids were born and grew up here, and now the grandkids are growing up here. But super friendly people, and I'm definitely interested in going to see Greece at some point. Hey CM Films, how's it going, man? It's good to see you back, sir. We'll lean the mixtures here just a little bit. Not really necessary at 2,000 feet, but we can lean them out just a little bit. A little bit of aileron trim here. And one of the things that's annoying when you fly, hey, nice seeing the Ukrainian flag down there. My grandfather was Ukrainian. My grandfather just passed away in December at 97 years old, and he is the firstborn in the United States in our family, my family, that family. I said in my family from the Ukraine. It's just amazing to see like where everybody's from. It's so cool. So the first thing that we're looking for today is Fort Shirley in Dominica. So let's see what we see here. This should be a cool one. This one actually looks really pretty neat. I'm gonna start descending already here. Because I want to get a look at this. I'm going to bring the power back here. So it looks like, I'm thinking Fort Shirley is probably right on this outcropping right there, which is a good place for a fort. Hey Greek dude, so in addition to having some family that are married into a Greek family, I had a friend of mine in college who spent a summer in Greece, and he said it was like the most amazing place in the world. Super friendly people, very, very relaxed, laid back, and he loved it. So apparently with I don't know if you guys have heard, but apparently there have been some hiccups with Flight Simulator. With this rollout of World Update 16, I guess they somehow deleted all the water masks in the rest of the world, which is like pretty unfortunate. So my understanding is that all of the water masks west of like Puerto Rico are gone in the Caribbean, and for the rest of the world. And the only water masks that exist in the Caribbean right now, or in Microsoft Flight Simulator right now, are these here in kind of the southern Caribbean. So it works for us because that's what we're looking at today. So 1,500 feet I think should do it. So bring some power back in and just nose up here a little bit. So we should see Fort Henry right here, or Fort Shirley, excuse me. And then Government House is going to be further south. Hoping I'm correct, and that's where Fort Shirley is up here on this peak. Yeah, Heiko, they do. I'm an American Airlines guy. So I guess I should be more specific. Like I can actually relatively easily get there from Montreal, which is not far from where I live, but so where is I guess I'm only assuming that the fort is here. Let's do some maneuvers. Is that it right there? Oh, here we go. All right. So there it is, Fort Shirley. That's really cool. Check that out. Make sure I don't stall the airplane here. That is really pretty neat. What's amazing to me about these points of interest that I was thinking about this yesterday is that they you'd think they'd be like huge things, right? Like big kind of distinct landmarks, but they're really not. I mean, they're a lot of these things you have to be looking for them. You'd never see them. And I did research these locations before the flights. Let me make a steep turn here so we can get back and see that again. Right in that little valley there. So we'll do a nice 45-degree turn here, see if we can do that. These are tricky to do in real life. And the commercial steep turns are even tougher because you're doing 60-degree turns. Which, if you're somebody who doesn't like roller coasters like me, you're not gonna like doing 60-degree turns. So look at that water along the edge of the terrain there. It looks gorgeous. Trees are looking amazing. There once again, Fort Shirley. Beautiful. Very, very cool. Alright, so I think we'll stay down low here as we continue down along the coast here. You know, Heiko, one of the things that I want to do someday is go down to the Caribbean and just island hop, like with no plan, and just like take twin otters all over the place. That's my goal. Alright, Alright, so we're looking next for Government House, which should be just south of Canefield Airport, which is coming up here. I have to say, things are looking sharp. Just these coastlines are amazing. Aside from the scenery popping, the water just looks awesome. The water looks really, really good. So have any of you guys done any touring yourselves in the Caribbean yet? Let me know in the comments if you guys have done any flying and what you've looked at. I've never done any like tours of the new I think when Japan first came out, I think Japan was the first world update. And I did check that out, I think on one flight, and I think I did one flight in Australia for those world updates, but after that I really haven't done much with the world updates, the other world updates. Pretty much 95% of my flying is in the Caribbean or to the Caribbean, one of the either or. I do a lot of flying for American, or at least I did a lot of flying for American Virtual Airlines, which is really cool. Last year I was doing a lot of flying out of Miami to all the different islands in the 737, and then and I don't know if you guys know, but I have my own virtual airline, which is Virtual Caribbean, which is I'll put the link to it in the description, or in the chat rather. So vbwa.net. That's I didn't start this virtual airline, but there were some guys in Trinidad who started it probably a year and a half ago, and it just became too much for them to manage, and they were going to shut it down. But it's way too cool to shut down, in my opinion. So me and one of the other members took over, and so we now have our own virtual airline, and it's pretty cool. We fly a lot of ATR routes around the islands. Here to Dominica, for instance, and we fly a good number of 737 routes, 767 over to the UK, and hey, Chaotic DJ, what's going on? We fly a lot of, and actually, so Caribbean, the real Caribbean Airlines is going to do a big expansion this year. So we're going to have a lot more routes. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, and you guys who are interested in virtual airlines, check out Virtual Caribbean. So there, just probably about our 11 o'clock is Canefield Airport. So we'll see that. And then go around 2 bends and we will see Government House. And Government House is a big kind of colonial looking white building. So this airport is a fun one to fly into. You got to come in over this terrain. Over this terrain of an angle and drop down in. There is no payware version of this airport, but there's a pretty cool freeware version. Pretty good freeware version. So I want to bring some power out here and bring us down. That's Canefield Airport right there. Now bring us down so we can yes, and Heiko, thanks for asking. Thank you for answering. Yeah, you can use the 750 in this airplane. Yeah, the GNS 530 is a dog. It really is. It's terrible. So I think Government House is, I think it's going to be right there. I think that's going to be it. Can we keep our streak alive? No, that is not it, is it? I think we're going to see it right in here. Our streak alive. I did not see it. I did not see it. Should we go around and have a look and see if we can see it again? I think we should. Yeah, this is tail heavy. This is black box. Yes, great airplane. I love this airplane. We're gonna make a. Gonna have another go at this here. Let's see if I can. Let's see if I can find Government House here. We have found every single one of our points of interest so far, and I don't want to miss this one. So I think it's actually much lower down. I think it's like right along in here. Maybe it's that right there. I bet you that's it right there. Just down the street from KFC, in case you're looking on Google Maps, like I am. Alright, we'll just angle out a bit here. Yeah, okay, perfect, Run Wild, thank you. Because I don't want to miss any of these. We did pretty well yesterday. Did pretty well yesterday. I want to make sure that we see our POIs here. Alright, bring some power out so we can drop some speed here. Alright, I think we'll get a good look at it now. We'll get a real good look at it if I crash. There it is, right there. See that? Right there. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. That's neat. Alright, let's bring some power in before we become a statistic. I was talking yesterday about the fact, and I always talk about this whenever I do like low-level maneuvering stuff in the sim. Is that people kill themselves doing this all the time. They in real life. No mixtures forward as well. It's a really, really good way to kill yourself because people get, especially when you're trying to maneuver like in a turn and looking for something on the ground, you can kind of lose track, especially of your coordination. And if you do that, if you stall, you're in deep doo-doo. If you stall 500 feet from the ground, you're gone. There's nothing you can do about it. So there's Martinique up ahead. Probably don't need to be going full bore here on the props. So I did the same thing today as I did yesterday. I forgot to do the weight and balance on the plane, like to check how many passengers, fuel, and everything else were loaded. But we'll be all right. I mean, this leg is gonna be a bit shorter than what we did yesterday. Yesterday was like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So we're heading down to Martinique, and Martinique is going to be, well, actually no, I know how I'm going to do this. I was going to say it's going to be a little tricky because the 2 points of interest are on different sides of the island. But what we can do is come down the left, the right side here, the east side, and then we'll overfly the airport and go over the west side. So what we're looking for in Martinique is the Church of St. Michael, which is on the east side, over here somewhere. And then something I can't pronounce on the western side of the island, straight ahead of us, Sacré-Cœur de Balata. I think they had the English translation somewhere, but I forgot what it is. So, 3,000 feet. Push the nose over. You hear that warble between the two engines? That's how you sync engines in a twin. It's not exactly by RPM, it's by sound. It's the same thing in boats, by the way. So, 3,000 feet is good. So, we have seen our points of interest in Dominica. Thanks to Run Wild to help us find it. Thank you for being along. So I guess somebody else streamed like the north part from Puerto Plata in the Dominican all the way down to Les Saints, where we just left from yesterday. But they did a lot of I don't know, time acceleration, whatever you call it. That's no way to do it. This is what Caribbean flying is like. And one of the very first things I noticed about Microsoft Flight Simulator that was different from other flight simulators is these sort of patterns on the water you can see. I mean, it looks so realistic. There is no flat water. There's very rarely truly flat water. There's always some sort of drift pattern on the water. I'm going to start leaning the mixtures here. I forgot to do that. I'm going to have to save some fuel because I didn't put... So what I'm doing is pulling the mixtures back and watching the EGTs over here. And as they go up, they're eventually going to hit a point that they turn around and go the other way. See that? And once you reach that point, you just push these back in until they're about two of these little notches lower than whatever the highest point was. And that's the poor man's way of leaning an airplane. The rich man's way of leaning an airplane is if you've got the G1000 and the fuel flow monitor and all that business, then you can use that to lean. But if you don't have all that, you can do it with the EGT. And if you don't have an EGT, what you do is pull the mixtures out and just pull them out slowly until the engine it'll like cough a little bit, sputter a little bit, and when it does that, then you just push them back in just far enough so that the engine's running smooth, and then you're pretty much in the same place. Not going to be as precise, obviously, but let's see here. So let's find this church here that we're looking for. This one might be a little tricky to find, but we will do our best. One of the things that's a little bit unrealistic about the flight modeling in Microsoft Flight Simulator is if you watch I'm not touching anything, I'm just sitting here, and if you watch the vertical speed, it's going to go up and down, yo-yo. And realistically, those up and down deviations should get smaller and smaller. Ah, Heiko, yes. Sacred Heart, that's right. But these deviations should get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then even out at some point and stop. And in Microsoft Flight Simulator, they just never do stop, and it gets pretty annoying. as I mentioned yesterday, I never use autopilots in small GA airplanes like this. It's the fun part of it is actually flying the airplane with some precision. So, CM Films, the SLH Sim Designs airports are phenomenal. He was on here yesterday actually, following the stream. He's I don't want to give away. I don't think it really matters if I tell you. He's from Anguilla, and his first airport was CJ Lloyd Airport on Anguilla, and Anguilla is my favorite place on the planet. So like when we go down to Anguilla like once or twice a year, and I have some friends that fly Islanders down in Anguilla, which is kind of how I got obsessed with flying in the Caribbean to begin with. So whenever I go down to Anguilla, I do like I'll go, like if my buddy's doing a mail run, like they literally do, that's how the mail gets around in the Caribbean. They fly it. How else are you gonna get it, And so anyway, I'll go flying with my buddies, on mail runs where they're going down to St. Bart's or whatever to drop off packages and stuff. And so I've spent a lot of time in that airport, and I love airports to begin with, and so I know that airport inside and out. Like I know that airport very, very well. So and his detail, I mean, just the fact that he did the Anguilla airport gave him a special place in my heart, because I never really thought that anybody would do the Anguilla airport for Microsoft Flight Simulator. And the original, so when the sim first came out, the Anguilla is a very flat island. I think the highest point on Anguilla is like 138 feet. And there was this like really big elevation change on the parking lot of the airport, which is completely unrealistic because Anguilla is just flat. I mean, it's literally flat. And so I was, when the sim first came out, I was just hoping that somebody would, fix the terrain around the airport in Anguilla. And when he released his version of Anguilla Airport, like there's a plaque in the airport with lists of different generations of pilots from Anguilla. CJ Lloyd, the name of the airport, is Clayton Lloyd. He's kind of the father of Anguillan aviation, and there's a plaque of a bunch of different pilots from the islands from over the year, or from Anguilla from over the years. And when I saw that the plaque was in the airport, I knew like this guy's just awesome. So I think he's got a deal going on right now that 10 airports for $20, I think it was. Somebody said yesterday. Heiko can confirm. And that is the steal of the century. I literally own every airport he's done, and they're all just tremendous. Right down to even like little ones. He did, I think it was Desirade and Marie Gallant, as a matter of fact. I think he did both of those on Anguilla, on Guadeloupe, small little airports, and did a great job. But his version of, his version of Pointe-à-Pitre in Guadeloupe, the main airport in Guadeloupe, is, in my opinion, arguably the best scenery anywhere for Microsoft Flight Simulator. When he released that, I had just been in that airport like 2 months before he released it, and like I remember taking the drone camera and going looking around inside the airport, and I mean, like all the shops are in the right place. Like it's unbelievable the work that he does. So yes, our SLH sim design, yeah, 20 for 10, yep. And I'm telling you, his sceneries are just awesome, awesome sceneries. And he's new, so that's why a lot of people haven't heard of him yet. I mean, he's been around for a year and a half now. It's quite a while. Getting some updrafts here from the terrain. Yep. Look at the detail now in the ridges and the hills and everything. It's great. But yeah, SLH Sim Designs is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to bring the props back a little bit here. Power back a little bit here. We'll start a little bit of a descent. So I might have done this a little bit early. But Sacred Heart is going to be kind of on the other side of this ridge, I do believe. This is one of the cool airports to yeah, seriously, it is too good to be true. The 10 airports that he's done for 20 bucks, I mean, that's just a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer. But this is one of the cooler airports, in my opinion. I forget who did this one. I always sound like I'm biased towards SLH Sim Designs just because I love their scenery so much. This is Tropical Sim who did Fort de France. So this airport is a cool airport to fly into, like in jets, because you're coming this way into this big bay, and the airport is right at the tip of the bay. You'll see it when we get up here. It's a really cool airport, really cool location for the airport. Take a bit more power out here. So, kind of got an idea of where it is. Okay, so let's hope that we can find it here. I think if we stay like right along this. Oh, nice, Cyril, that is good news. That is good news right there. Yeah, hey Enzer, how are you? Yeah, he did an amazing job with Anguilla Airport. Absolutely amazing job with Anguilla Airport. I think bringing some trim here. I think this one might be a little tricky to find, because I think it's kind of right up along in here somewhere on the other side of this ridge. And it might even be right there. This one might be tricky to find. It might be right there. Whoopsie daisy. Little terrain here. I don't think it's there. I think it's not on the other side of this ridge. Whoopsie. Yeah, CM Films, you won't. Hey, Chris, how are you? St. Lucian, living in the UK. So I was mentioning this yesterday. I have a buddy who flies Islanders and Anguilla, and he's from St. Lucia. Great guy. Oh yeah, you're getting a lot of drafts here. So let's see if we can find. Wow. Let's see if we can find this here. Oh no! Look at this. I mean, this is getting crazy, these updrafts. So I'm thinking we're getting pretty close to where it is. Look at this. Can't. It's hard to look and fly at the same time here. This is crazy. I literally can't descend. I think this one is going to be tough to find. I'll do another circle here. It's somewhere in this area up here. Which we might get to know very intimately if I'm not careful. No. Look at this. This is like a glider at this point. That tennis court. I mean, it's amazing the detail in this sim. Well, if we don't find this one, it's not going to be for a lack of trying. I just don't see it. This is pretty dense. I have to say, like the variety of buildings that are in this like area are pretty amazing. But I just don't see the one we're looking for. I am somewhat disappointed. I don't want to be the first streamer to end their stream in a crash. So I think I probably should add some power here. So, oh well. We certainly tried. It's like in one of these areas here, but just haven't had the good fortune to find it. Oh well. Hey Virtue Sim, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So now we're gonna go have a look for what is called, oh, this is the Sacred Heart. This is the Sacred Heart. Let me, no, this is not. Sacred Heart is, now let's see here. So we're gonna go over top of the airport. Jeez. I don't think you're gonna get updrafts of 2,000 feet a minute in this airplane. Hey Virtue Sim, thank you so much. We did St. Lucia. Let's see, we did St. Lucia yesterday. Or no, we're actually doing St. Lucia relatively soon here. So there's the airport. Sorry for the suddenly unstable flying here. That's the main airport. I've got it loaded. That's the Tropical Sim version that I've got loaded. And let's see, what I'm trying to do is find the Church of St. Michael. It's basically right off the end of the runway in this direction. So I'm going to bring the props back. Basically right off the end of the runway. So we'll see what we can view here. So I think if I can get the airplane to stop climbing at 1,000,000 feet a minute. Yeah, I was wondering if do they call them Pitons or Pythons? I apologize for not knowing. There's because they were originally supposed to be one of the points of interest, but then when it actually came out, they never mentioned them. So I was kind of wondering why. And now I literally have to pull the power to 0 just to descend. It's ridiculous. I mean, it just will not go down. Because the next point of interest that we're looking for is right here. Maybe now it'll go down. I mean, like, I have to do something pretty extreme just to get the airplane to descend here. And that's it right there. See this? Right there. There it is. Right here. Very, very cool. And we're going to get to know it very, very well here if I don't. Very, very cool. So let's do another pass here. And look at the water masking out here, it looks amazing. Alright, I'm going to do a quick turn here. Well, not too quick because we're low and slow here. The water just looks unbelievable. Get another look here at the Church of St. Michael. Literally directly ahead of us right now. I'll get a view out the side here in a second. Right here. Right there. I have to go full power here in a second. Look at that. How beautiful. Alright, props full forward. Power coming in. Let's climb. So I know the Titons were there before, but I don't. You know what? As a matter of fact, I think I might have had it like a freeware add-on that had them. So now let's head south again. Been airborne just over an hour now. So that's the airport, and when you're landing in there, you're coming in through this bay. It's just a really cool view. Just a really cool view. So what we'll do is we'll go down the west side of St. Lucia so we can get a look at the Titons. Please correct me if I'm saying that wrong. Cool stuff. I think the trees look pretty cool. Okay, Chris, thank you. I appreciate that. Whoa. Alright. Bring the props back. Bring the manifold pressure back. And I'm just gonna have to ride the bucking bronco here for a little bit until we get out over the water. So I probably have it set on realistic turbulence, which to me is very unrealistic. Dropping again. So St. Lucia is one place we have not been, and one place that is definitely on the list. Like, jeez, look at the vertical speed. Whee! It's crazy. Yeah, Virtue Sim, I'm the same way. I usually have it at medium. I think that's the best one. But I think when they do sim updates or world updates, a lot of times they'll reset it. I haven't checked to see what it is in a long time. But this is kind of crazy. So I'm guessing it's unrealistic, quote unquote realistic. So look at that water along the edge. I mean, that just looks amazing. All of it. Look up in here, all along. It just looks unbelievable to me. Look at this. I mean, it just looks amazing. And I mean, they did the, they've done they did all the water masking in the Caribbean. It was already all there before the update. But I guess what they did in the update is they're basically using it as a trial run for a new way of doing the water that they're going to be using in FS24. So they're basically testing it now in the Caribbean with this update. So apparently it's all been reworked, even though it was all pretty good before the world update. There is Martinique. The French Caribbean is I think it's pretty cool. Oh, Enzo, everything got reset to easy, huh? Could check real quick. Let's see here. What is it? It's not graphics. It's not flight model. Is it miscellaneous? No. 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 Huh. Well, I'm not going to waste everybody's time doing that. But assistance menu. Assistance options. Correct. User experience. Is that what it is? Or piloting. Medium. Turbulence is on medium. So I'd hate to know what realistic is like if that's medium. I would hate to know what realistic is if that's medium. So I think you can already see the Titons from here. I think that's them right there. Or one of them anyway. They're like 3,000 feet, I think. I'm gonna Google them. pretend like I know what I'm talking about. So 743 meters. That's about what, 22,000 feet, give or take. So that's pretty high. This is pretty sloppy flying right now, 200 feet below my altitude. Bring in a little bit of trim here. So I'm not sure how. Well, it looks like so San Juan Center is online. So it looks like they've got some action up there, which is good to see. I was curious to see like how big the turnout would be for you know, how much, like if we'd see a big increase in flying down in the Caribbean. I don't know if you guys know about Volanta, but it's like a flight tracking software for the sim, and really pretty cool. It keeps track of all the flights you've done, and you can see them all on a map, which is really neat. And they had a deal right after Christmas. You can do a freeware. You can do the freeware version of it, which is cool too. I mean, it still shows you all of your flights. But with the payware version, you can like save pictures and all kinds of stuff like that, screenshots and whatever. So right after Christmas, they did a special for, like, it's an Australian company. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of the nose holding in the French language. Heiko. But anyway, Volanta did a deal right before Christmas, right after Christmas. It was like a year for, like, I forget. It wound up being like $2 a month or something like that. So I signed up for the payware version. Is that Piton? Is that how you would say it? And now I'm sloppy in the other direction. I'm 200 feet high. This is one thing that I have seen in the Caribbean a bunch of times, especially in Curacao, and like Bonaire and Curacao, you see these white patches in the terrain, and I've seen it in St. Martin too. Occasionally, doesn't happen all that often, but every time I fly into Curacao, I get that. It's ridiculous. It looks like we're getting it now. Yeah, see, that looks pretty bad. So as I'm sure you've figured out by now, the Islander is not a speed demon. I mean, 125 knots in cruise is about what you'll get with this airplane, but it can carry an absolute ton, and it's high wing with the wings behind you, so you get a really good view out of the cockpit. That's one. Yeah, Bonaire has them too. And so this is a really good sightseeing airplane, but it's not going to get you anywhere fast. Not going to get you anywhere all too fast. So the point of interest we're looking for, aside from the Titons in St. Lucia, is the Vieux Fort Lighthouse, which is down at the south end of the island. So that should be pretty cool. Which I'm probably also pronouncing incorrectly. But yeah, see, now it'll fade out. And somebody was asking about, oh, Heiko, you were asking about the Bonaire scenery from Aerosoft before. I have that, but I don't fly in there very often. I fly into Curacao somewhat regularly, and I fly into Aruba somewhat regularly. I don't really remember what the Bonaire scenery looks like. But you know, I'm telling you, if you're a fan of the Caribbean, life is good right now. Like, I don't think I think all of the major airports are covered by oh, okay, Richardson. That's pretty cool. I should get that. I should get that rather than just. So far, the only one we've missed is that one on the hillside there in Martinique. That's the first one. So we found all the ones we were looking for yesterday, and I found all of them so far today, except for that. Little nav map is a pretty amazing little utility, even though I don't use it. Only because I have Navigraph, so I don't use little nav map, but I have it, I just don't use it. But it really seems to be like an amazing little utility. Yeah, the Easter egg hunt, exactly. So we'll slowly make our way down I literally think this would be the greatest job in the world. If I had a choice between being like a 737 captain or flying Islanders around the Caribbean, I think I'd rather fly Islanders around the Caribbean. See, that looks to me like it's a custom you know, like a POI kind of. That's got to be an oil terminal, I would venture to guess. Look at that. Oh, that's right. So this is a great little airport right in here. This is it Castries? Yes, no, George F. Yeah, Castries, George F. Charles Airport. That is a great little airport. And I've got the payware loaded right now, so you can see it. Not that you can see it very well, but the payware is excellent. There's a freeware version that's also excellent. And that's a challenging little approach right there, because you're right up against the water landing in there. But it's beautiful because you've got the little bay in there and the cruise ships. It's a beautiful little approach. challenging. If we fly that in Islanders, or no Islanders, in the ATR for Virtual Caribbean. And this is, I do believe, the Rodney Bay Oil Terminal, is it not? I do believe that is the Rodney Bay Oil Terminal. Which there is a freeware version of that available, but I don't think I have it installed right now. I don't. Do you guys use add-on linker? Andrew, hey, how you doing? I have not. We're gonna make our way down there though. So we started yesterday in Aruba, and I just kind of randomly picked Aruba because I figured it would. I wanted to find a place where we could start and get like a decent. You know, I didn't want to have like a 45-minute flight between islands, which would happen if you start like in Anguilla or St. Martin. And so we started yesterday in Antigua. We hit St. Kitts, Montserrat, and Guadeloupe yesterday. And today we started back in where we stopped yesterday, Les Saints in Guadeloupe, and then we've come down Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia. So we'll hit Trinidad and Tobago either later on today or tomorrow, depends. And I'm thinking right now that I'll probably land in St. Vincent at Argyle and at least take a little break, and then maybe do another stream later today. Keep going down. So getting down towards the Titons. Do a little bit of a descent here. Oh, Andrew, you're from Trinidad. So, oh, Buckeye St. Lucia Terminal. Okay. Andrew, so I'm with I fly with Virtual Caribbean Airlines, and it was started by a couple of guys in Trinidad. Yeah, Add-ons linker is that guy. So when that first came out, I mean that utility is like at least 2 years old. And last time I looked, he had like 400,000 plus copies of that downloaded from flightsim.to. And I reached out to him like when it was early on, very early on. And I told him, dude, you should sell this for $5 because it's like he was giving it away for free, and it is worth its weight in gold. That program. And he wrote me back and he was like, I'm just trying to do something helpful for people. I don't need, And it was actually during the peak of COVID, and he said, a lot of people are struggling right now. I don't want to make anything like more difficult for anybody. Just let them use it. Which is like such a cool attitude. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Get out here and get a better view. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, that's just amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Huh. It would be interesting to see because these are all volcanic islands, like to see what this part of the world would look like if you drained all the water. If that makes any sense. Like it'd just be interesting to see what like formations are below the water. This is unbelievable. So clearly they've included these in, customized in the sim. And I know that originally when they were talking about World Update 16, that this was going to be one of the points of interest, but it's not listed as one of the points of interest. Yeah, Andrew, so Virtual Caribbean Airlines, I'll put the website in the chat. Sorry, I'm actually wasting a beautiful view here. Give me 1 second and I'll type that into the chat. So Andrew, that's the website right there, v-bwa.net. That's Virtual Caribbean Airlines. Really fun group of guys, and I know for certain I am hoping that because what happened was it was going really strong, and then the guys who started it just became too much for them to manage, which happens. People got jobs and wives and kids and everything else, and so they the guys who were running it kind of announced that they weren't going to run it anymore, and so a lot of people scattered. A lot of people kind of stopped flying for it, and they were asking, like, would anybody be interested in taking it over? And so me and another guy took it over. So I suppose I have my own virtual airline now. But yeah, definitely check it out. And so Caribbean is they have a big route update this year. They're going to be flying to Puerto Rico. They're going to be flying to Beef Island, which is a crazy cool airport in the British Virgin Islands. A really cool airport to fly into. Hey, Virtue Sim, take it easy, man. Thanks for coming out, and appreciate it, man. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your dinner. And they're going to be flying into, let me see, Puerto Rico, Beef Island. I almost want to say St. Thomas. And like a bunch of other U.S. destinations too. So they're going to be having this really big route update this year. So we're going to get a lot more options to fly. And that's my stock flying in the sim. Like if you, I'm on, I was talking about Balata before, so I'm on Balata. You can just search for me as IslandSimPilot. And so whenever I'm flying, I always have it on Balata. So, but I'm always flying Virtual Caribbean. I fly the ATR more than anything else. Up until this year, I used to fly the 7.3 for American quite a lot. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go down here and get a look at the Lighthouse, and then I'll hang a left and we'll go check out the airport real quick before we turn. Look at that. We're gonna have to give it some gas to get down to St. Vincent relatively quickly here. That's the airport right there, the main airport. And that's a really cool one. That's a fun approach. Another really fun approach. So I'm gonna bring some power out and get down here a little bit. Yeah, Beef Island. They're gonna be flying to Beef Island. They just did a press event like a week ago announcing the routes. There's a bunch of them in the U.S. There's got to be like another 6 U.S. routes that they're adding, which is going to be pretty cool. So I don't know what they're going to be flying. They must be flying the ATR to Beef Island. I doubt you fly a 737 to Beef Island. So the Lighthouse should be right around this. Should be right at the end of this. Is it up top or is it down low? That must be it up there. Yep, that's it right there. I'll try not to kill us as we go look at it. See that? There it is. How cool is that? Really nice. Really nice. Says the guy who's about to stall and crash. We'll have a quick look at the airport here. So I've got the Payware airport loaded. I don't know. I forget who the developer is on this one. It's pretty good. I don't fly down here all that often. Usually when I fly into St. Lucia, I fly into Castries on the other side. Just because it's a little challenging. But it's a nice little airport. They did a good job. That's the Payware. It's always got a Liat ATR sitting there. Alright, so we'll go power. Props forward. Everything forward here. Alright. I always find it disorienting to fly like this. Which I suppose it is disorienting to fly like that. So get back up at altitude here. Looking good, looking good. Oh, Tropical Sim, yep. Tropical Sim is one of those developers that's been around forever. And God bless them, because if it weren't for developers like that in the good old days, of simming, we wouldn't have had anything down here. Scott, this is St. Lucia. We're on the southern tip of St. Lucia right now. Those are the Titons over there. And we are now heading down to St. Vincent. And yeah, Andrew, you're absolutely correct. So now that they've done Tobago with this update, with this world update, which I'm really looking forward to seeing, we definitely need a high quality Piarco, that's for sure. Because SLH Sim Designs did Grenada like a month ago, 2 months ago. They released that, and that's fantastic. And so now we really need a nice Piarco. Now that there is a package available that has Piarco, Tobago, and Grenada together, all three, and it's not the greatest in the world. You know, people have different you know, kind of takes on different like viewpoints on what they're looking for in a scenery. Like, for example, like, I don't really care if there's an extensive interior of a payware airport. Is it cool? Yeah, I mean, it's neat. But if it doesn't have an interior, I don't really care, you know. Whereas some people absolutely freak out, like, oh, there's no interior. How can they charge us this money? Blah blah blah. And some people hate it when they have an interior to the airport because it takes up more resources, you know. So everybody's got like different takes on what's a good scenery and what's not a good scenery. But the package that's available for Trinidad and Tobago and Grenada, the three airports together, is good. It's really not bad at all. It's I think it's like $15, not expensive. And I mean, are the three airports amazing? No, you know, but they're not that bad. They're really not. And in particular, the Piarco scenery is really not bad. But now that there's hopefully a good Tobago scenery, and definitely already a good Grenada scenery, hopefully we're gonna get a good Piarco as well, and then we can then we'll really be in business. I mean, it's kind of funny that Piarco in particular has not been given the A+ treatment yet, because it's such a hub, you know. Final approach, yep. Yeah, Heiko, you're completely correct. That is the problem. It's, you know, I don't know why they do that. I mean, I understand why you would sell a package, but why not sell them and have them be in 3 separate files so that you can, you know, use one or the other, but you don't have to use all 3 every time. But yeah, the final approach version is not bad. It really isn't. As a matter of fact, I think never having been there, I think their Piarco scenery is pretty good. We're getting some weather in here. Seems like. I'll have a look at the METAR here. Huh. Oh yeah, the METAR says haze, which I would say that's probably pretty accurate from looking at things. Yeah, temperature is 2.9, dew point is 2.4. So that's 5 degrees difference. And 5 degrees difference, you can get Bradley. What's going on? Gate checked. How you doing, my friend? That is awesome news. The SLH is working on Piarco. What's SOCA? I don't know the acronym. Gate checked is your source for aviation related info in the Caribbean. Aviation news. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that one up. expanding. Ah, okay. That's pretty cool. He's doing one down in French Guiana. SLH does some. Okay, Andrew, thank you. I do some flights down to Suriname and Guyana for Virtual Caribbean, but I haven't gone down that far, so I wasn't familiar with that one. That's awesome. I love coastal airports. Looks like a cool airport too. Why do I feel like I'm like really nose high altitude? I guess I'm not. Okay. This feels like it. So our 2 points of interest here on St. Vincent are Fort Charlotte and Cathedral of Our Lady of the Assumption. And they are both on the southern end. And I actually think so. There's the old airport from St. Vincent. Hey Venano, how's it going, man? We're all doing very good. We are checking out Caribbean, which always makes us all happy. It's wild because the METAR right now says, I think it says mist. It looks rather misty, for sure. I'm using live weather. I should probably use like a clear preset for these trips, just because that way it's more it's a little bit maybe easier on a little bit easier for the sightseeing. But so the old airport, it was called E.T. Joshua Airport, and there's an add-on you can get from FlightSim.to that puts it back in the sim, which to me is pretty cool, because it really is a neat airport. Hey Steven, yeah, I fly on Vatsim all the time. The only reason I'm not flying on Vatsim today is because we're doing sightseeing and a stream. Only because like I wasn't sure whether there'd be like a lot of ATC and a lot of traffic because of the update, the world update, and I just didn't want to spend like half my time talking on Vatsim. But I fly on Vatsim all the time. That's I would say 99% of my flying in Microsoft is on Vatsim, absolutely. Bradley, if you're asking where are we right now in the sim, this is St. Vincent, but I doubt you're asking me that, because you probably know. Unless it's the fog doesn't make it easy to see. But yes, this is coming down the west side of St. Vincent, and we're gonna see one of the flight after this one. So I'm gonna land at St. Vincent and take a little bit of a break. We've been at it for about an hour and 45 minutes now. But the Grenadines between St. Vincent and Grenada is one of my absolute favorite places in the world to fly. I'm gonna pull some power here and start a little bit of a descent. Did I tell moving the MSS to Xbox Games folder and then retrying the DLSS swapper? I have not. I know some people still have some difficulties with that for some reason. There are some people that haven't had their because the sim is supposed to automatically update itself and move itself to the Xbox games folder, and it doesn't do that apparently for some people. Oh, this is the Sahara dust. Okay, we had that when we were in Guadeloupe a couple years ago. Interesting. And as a matter of fact, now that you mention that, so when the first like aha moment for me about how cool Microsoft Flight Simulator was when there was a Saharan dust storm in Trinidad and I was flying in. I don't remember if it was the 737 or the ATR, and it was there. Like, it was legitimately there in the sim, and I was like, you gotta be kidding that that's actually there. Hey Scott, I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, it's a simple update once you know how to do it. It's very, very easy with the DLSS swapper. So this is this is gonna make finding our points of interest pretty interesting. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, yeah, I would stream Vatsim, Steven, absolutely. The only reason I'm not doing it today is just because we're doing like the points of interest and stuff. Like if I was doing a regular flight where I'm not looking for things, I would absolutely stream Vatsim. And I love Vatsim. I absolutely love Vatsim. People get annoyed with my regular videos when I'm on Vatsim, because I'm making radio calls, and they're like, "Why do what?" I get a lot of comments like, "Why do you do that? Why are you making radio calls to nobody?" And I have to explain to them that it's Vatsim. I absolutely love Vatsim. I think Vatsim is the coolest thing in the world. So hopefully we we can see. Hopefully we can see our points of interest down here. Still got some terrain to cover here. Steven, you're on, dude. I will absolutely do that. I will absolutely do that. Yeah, it's one of the things that a lot of the Vatsim controllers get irritated when you're flying small airplanes. I don't know if I shouldn't say that, but they kind of can be. I think they're into it for the same reason that like the airline types are on on Flight Sim, which is all well and good, it's fine. But a lot of times if you're flying like an Islander or a Bonanza or something on Vatsim, they're kind of like, what are you doing? And why? But I love Vatsim. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I don't know if it's every year, but certainly pretty often, there is Saharan dust blows across the Atlantic Ocean and covers the Caribbean. It's bizarre when you see it. It's kind of hard to like realize or get your head around the fact that that's what it is. But yeah, this is sand from the Saharan desert is what we're looking at right now, which is amazing if you think about it. So we're looking for two things here. We're looking for Fort Charlotte and a lovely church. Fort Charlotte and a lovely church. And I think we might wind up hitting one of the two of them. I think it's right after that big outcropping right there we see in front of us, we'll see the we'll see Kingstown. It's not here. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the fort is on that hill right there. They tend to put forts on hills. So I'm going to level off here. Yeah, yeah, I don't quite know why they're like that either, but they can be sometimes. Oh wait, did I just go right by it? Nope, I didn't. Okay. Alright, this might be the fort right here. That might be the fort right there, and I bet you that is, and it is, and it is cool. Look at that. Look at that, how neat. That's amazing. Whoopsie. Now let's not crash here. And this one's going to be hard to spot without crashing. There's a church right along here. Which I don't see, and I'm going to crash and die. Okay. Let's go back and have a look and see if we can't find. We are legit IFR right now, by the way. So, this is one of those tricky things where this is almost like a night departure. Where, like right before this, you could see, you know, terrain. You could see a horizon. And you make this right turn out over the water, and this is legit IMC. You can't see a darn thing. And if you're in a real airplane or in a sim airplane for that matter, if something like this happens, you've got to get right on your gauges. You gotta get right on your instruments, otherwise you're gonna wind up in the drink. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that again. We'll just keep coming around. Oopsie. So I can't really look at the comments right now because this is legit IMC. You know, so I'm gonna start making a turn back here. See if I can get. Alright, so is that the hill? Yeah, let's go this way just a little bit. Please don't do that. Alright, so now we've got a little bit of a view again here. Bring some power out. There's the fort. The church should be. Church should be like right along in here somewhere. We got one more try at this one, and we're gonna have to run. Should be right down here. Is that it right there? That was it right there. Sorry for the real quick look at the church, but I do want to live to tell another story. And this is not smart climbing into it. I mean, I assume there's nothing to hit over here, but I'm not positive. But this is the old airport too. This right here used to be, see the X's on the runway. This used to be the airport, and you can see what a cool overwater landing that is. Yeah, I love overwater approaches like that. To me, that's the coolest approach in the world. Alright, so now we are pretty much IMC again. And let's not get too crazy here. Alright, we'll head up to the airport is like literally right here. Pretty much on a left base right now for the airport. And there's some power out here. Get some flaps. Full fuel pumps on. This is crazy. Doing something like that. So yeah, VFR in the Caribbean is its own deal. I'm just able to look at the comments now for the first time in a while. I kind of feel, oh there, I can see them now. I kind of feel like they, this is a crap approach, by the way. Jeez. Oh, okay. I kind of feel like they're a little bit... This is the world's worst streaming approach. Pictures and props full forward. Might help if I could see anything. Yeah, it's right over here in the valley. So this is literally the world's worst streaming approach. Sorry about this, fellas. There we go. I couldn't see a blessed thing. Alright, there's okay. I'll get away with this, but it was not what you're looking for. Alright. We'll talk a little bit about flying in the Caribbean when I'm done here. Let's see if we can actually make somewhat of a landing out of this. Alright, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. After what was an appalling approach, of course. I mean, that was pretty much actual IMC. And I pretty much would have been illegal trying to fly in there, VFR. Lean the mixtures a little bit. So I actually picked kind of an interesting day to fly around the Caribbean. So yeah, I mean, VFR flying in the Caribbean is weird. So this is the payware St. Vincent Argyle Airport. This is a great airport. Great payware. I'll just taxi over here so you can have a look at it. But yeah, the thing about I'll tell you the thing about Vatsim in the Caribbean is the uh, the controllers in the Caribbean on Vatsim are legit Caribbean controllers. Like, you have to know, you don't have to know, but it's very, very helpful to know the local customs and the local, waypoints and visual reporting points and all that sort of stuff, to sort of fly effectively in the Caribbean. Like, and it's not big things, it's little things. Like, I had when I first started flying into Jamaica on Vatsim, um, little things like when they ask how do you hear, and they'll say 4x5 or 5x5. I had never heard that before, and so when that was a new thing for me. Mixtures to idle, cut off, throttles to idle, set the parking brake, flaps are up, fuel pumps coming off, lights coming off, avionics master off before you turn the mags off, master and battery switches off, and we are looking pretty good. So this is Argyle International Airport. This is, let me see who did this one. Richer Simulations. Really, really nice job. They did a great job at this airport. This is a cool, I just got this one pretty recently. But the Caribbean controllers on Vatsim use the procedures and the phraseology and the local kind of customs and things like that, that they use in real life. So they're very, very realistic. So yeah, it can be a little bit intimidating, I guess. You know, um, where's I'm trying to find that airport PTPI. Let's see here, PTPI, which is Pohnpei. Okay, that's way out. That's in Micronesia. Cool. Um, Most of my flying in the Caribbean on Vatsim is IFR flying, and there's not a lot of controllers in the Caribbean. So you'll do a lot of what we call transmitting in the blind, which is just radio calls and basically treating them like non-towered fields. Um, but for anybody who doesn't know, I'm instrument rated, so like I'm pretty comfortable on radios and so forth. So the big thing about, kind of one of the things I like about Vatsim is, one of the big things about Vatsim is that the same rules apply to Vatsim as apply to real flying, which is that if you don't understand a instruction, either you don't understand the phraseology, you don't understand what physical location, like if they tell you to make a turn over a certain point and you don't know where that is or whatever, is just to ask, just to ask and have them clarify. And in real life, if you're flying into some place you haven't flown into before, you can get a lot of instruction that the ATC, they're used to dealing with their local pilots, and that's they kind of use their own phraseology. But if you're not from that area and you don't understand what they're talking about, you have to tell them, like, guys, can you explain this to me in a way that I can understand? I mean, you don't want to say that over the radio, but you do want to be like, say again, repeat, I need to understand what's going on here. So Kenny, that's a good question. Um, they probably wouldn't get too mad if you busted a tower. I don't know if I would recommend it. They do give people, like, I've heard of people getting, like a 5-day ban or whatever for doing weird stuff on Vatsim. So I don't know if I would really recommend doing that. Um, but Kenny, that's an interesting question, and I don't know if you use um, what's it called, add-ons linker for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So it's interesting that you asked, because I think I'm going to do a video on this, because there I started running out of room on my C drive. I have a C drive and a D drive, and my C drive was starting to get kind of clogged with a lot of stuff from the sim, a lot of sceneries. And so what I did was I used add-ons linker to move like 150 um, gigs worth of official Microsoft Flight Simulator scenery, like the world updates and all that stuff, to my D drive, and then use add-on linker to set the links in the official folder so it thinks they're still there, so it's not going to ask you to download it again. It's a little tricky to do, um, but you can do it. The other thing you can do, as a matter of fact, while we're streaming, I'll just show. Well, the other thing you can do is you can go into. Um, you can also go into. I'm just going to close this out, and I'll go to the main menu and show you real quick. Yeah, exactly, Heiko, exactly. I was making it too complicated. Um, hopefully you guys can still. Hopefully I'm still streaming. Um, you go to profile, and then you go to content manager, and you search for what. So these are the ones that I do not have installed. Um, and for example, like I have the Payware Princess Juliana, so I uninstalled the the Asobo Princess Juliana. So like, let's say you want. Hold on, let me. So what you want to do is check the installed box, and then Sangster. Are they going to allow you to dis? They might not let you. Was it MKJS? MKJS. They might not allow you to uninstall the actual airport, because it sort of looks like it's a package here. Um, darn. So I don't know that you can. Let me see. Nah, see, I think it comes as an all or nothing. It looks like. Oh no. Aha, look at this. So let me do this again so you can see. If you just type any of the, what is this? MKJS. Okay, so what you have to do is, let me try USA. No, that's not gonna work either. Anyway, if you click on, if you get the Caribbean World Update listed here, there's like a little 3-button thing here. You click on that 3-button thing, and then it opens them all up so you can see the individual packages. And then you just go MKJS, click on that, and just click delete, and then that way you can get rid of it. And what it'll do is it'll show up in your not installed list here. And I wonder what I don't have installed. Okay, so this is my that's the Grenada Piarco Tobago package that we were talking about before. And this is the official Microsoft Flight Simulator Princess Juliana, which I don't have installed. But hopefully that cleared it up for you, Kenny. Um, yeah, so you just so try to figure out if I can. Let's see if Japan will come up now. See what I So you just got to look for this three dot thing over here and click on the three dots, and it'll open the entire thing for you. So in any event, um, that's about 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's about what we did yesterday. So I don't know. I may come back and so we are right now. Let's see. We are right now right here at Argyle, and this is one of my favorite trips in the Caribbean. It's right down along the Grenadine Islands. This right here, Mustique, would have been one of um, my landing challenges if I was in charge of Asobo. Great little airport. Um, and then down to Grenada, and then over here to check out Crown Point, check out the new scenery from the World Update. So I don't know if we'll do that today or tomorrow. We'll do one of them. Kenny, Roger, man, glad we could square that away for you. So we'll do the next leg is going to be down along here. This will probably only take, might take a little bit of time actually. And but we'll do that either later on today or tomorrow. I very much appreciate you guys coming along for the flight. It it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing this. And oh, so Veneno, Veneno. Pardon me if I'm not if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. So you are at Les Saints right now? Is that what you're saying? Because that's where we started from. We started this trip from right here. Hey, Heiko, have a good night's sleep, dude. We'll see you next time, and have a good day tomorrow. So you're at so Veneno. Tell me which airport you're at right now. Hey, Andrew, what's going on? We're just babbling at this point. We're just looking around and checking stuff out, talking about where we're gonna go from here. So what we did yesterday, I think most of you guys were here. We started at VC Bird, came up to Bradshaw, or no, came up to Bradshaw here, saw the fortress, came down. No way, Veneno 2911 is at Les Saints right now. That is crazy. I would give anything to be at that airport with you right now. That'd be so cool. That is absolutely amazing. Do you live there or are you just visiting? I'm totally amazed by this right now. Um, yeah, I know. It's that's what I am blessed with the English tongue, you know. There's nothing nothing I can do it. Um, yeah, Kenny, there's some patches for sure. But Paul, I appreciate you being along. Yeah, it's the Caribbean is just amazing. Hey Bernardo, what's going on? Bernardo is like one island away from you. If I'm guessing correctly, I think Bernardo, I think you live over on Desirade, no? And yeah, so we did. That was the trip we took yesterday. Ended down here in Les Saints, and nice trip down today. It was a fun one. I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this whole thing. We gotta get out to Barbados too. Oh, okay, in the sim, I gotcha. I gotcha. So Bernardo is actually in Guadeloupe. My guess is anyway. So, um, so yeah, we gotta get out to Barbados too at some point. Yeah, Bernardo, Desirade. Man, what a beautiful part of the world. What a beautiful part of the world. So, all right, guys, well, I'm gonna go feed my dog before he gets really upset with me. And thank you everybody for coming along. I really, really appreciate it. And once I decide if I'm going to do later today or tomorrow, I'll schedule the stream again on YouTube so you guys know when it's gonna happen. But Thanks again for coming along, guys. I've been having so much fun doing this the last couple days, checking out the islands. So hope you guys have a good day. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will get back either tomorrow or later today. Yeah, Bernardo, I did see about the water masks. So I guess west of Puerto Rico, there's none. So I guess out this way, there's none. But I mean, I've seen gorgeous water masks all the way down here. So I don't know. It's weird. But Kenny, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Scott, thank you. It's awesome to have people along to do this, and we'll keep going. So hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Venono, thanks. I keep saying Venono, Veneno. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. And great. I'm really happy about that. And CM Films, take it easy. Hope you get that SLH package. It's totally worth it. And so I'll see you guys soon. All right, everybody, take care. Hey, Steven, thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Uh, John's Adventures. I'll show you real quick. So we started here at Les Saints, which is in Guadeloupe. That's the main islands of Guadeloupe, and this is Les Saints, which is one of the free airports included in the update. So we started there, and we went down the side of Dominica, came over here. That's Martinique, and then this is St. Lucia. We came along the side of St. Lucia and down to the bottom down here, and then down here to St. Vincent and along this side, and landed right here at Argyle Airport. So the overview is like we started here, came down like this, and wound up down here. So we'll continue that one tomorrow. So awesome, guys. Thanks again. I really, really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. And CM Films, you're not going to regret it, man. It's amazing. So, Michael, take it easy. John's Adventures, Steven, Bernardo, you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. I don't know if I'm going to, I may come back and do some more later on today. We'll see. But I'll definitely let you guys know. Take it easy, fellas.